introing into Florida State here, first reps. We obviously have done a lot of homework and different meeting rooms and things like that. Might have snuck some peeks on film, but as far as coordinated efforts in practice, today was where we started that. So both sides of the ball, all phases of the game. So that was good. And then just update, because I guess I never really have had a chance to address you guys. Jam, with his injury, a little more significant than what I thought when I was there for the press conference with you guys last. Found out more information afterwards. So he'll be out. We'll go week by week, but he'll be out for, first game for sure, and we'll play it from there. So.
Have you picked a backup quarterback yet?
Yeah, we won't really get into that as far as who's the second. These guys are going to keep competing, and it's for every position. So right now, there's balance between in some things that we do the reps, but there's certainly coordination on who's getting those reps as well. So. Just looking for someone to separate themselves. That's really the situation, and they feel like Jam was certainly at a higher level and need these guys. And, I know they're hungry and, they want to do it. Now they just got to show us. And, it's not just one area, it's all phases. It's running the ball. It's pass protection. It's just all of those things combined. So again, each guy's got some tools, got some things that they can do. But need them to stand out, because there's kind of a log jam there, and each of them have their strengths, and they all can fit into the offense in some form or fashion.
Can you give us an update on Jaden Robertson, maybe what the team's looking like in the right guard?
Yeah, he isn't taking any team reps or anything right now. Still making that progress through that protocol that we're on with his injury.
Any update on James Smith?
Yeah, he's practicing. James Braxton. Yeah. Yep.
What are your early impressions of Florida State, and how tough is it to game plan for a team with so much new across the board personnel and coaching?
Yeah, you walk in, from my shoes, you walk into the offense and defense and special teams, especially offense and defense, and you see a lot of different film being shown for different reasons, right? Personnel, scheme, what they were last year, and then the same thing on offense. And, more probably scheme and what they were a year ago as far as their talent returning. So there is a lot, but you got to make sure you're not chasing ghosts and you're trying to keep things simple for us, and we can do what we do. And we have enough stuff that we see from each side of the ball, that you can – we see a lot of variations of our offense. We see a lot of variations, from our defense. But there are certainly some things that we expect that are different than what we do on offense and defense, whether it's the style of quarterback that they have or what they do defensively, as a system. There certainly are some differences. So we gotta be ready for anything and everything.
How would you describe the mix between young guys and veterans that we're going to see on the special teams units?
Last year I think we were at the top. I know we were at the top of the conference with a number of freshmen that were out there on those units, and I would expect that. Hopefully it's not at the same rep count at the end of the year, but I would say that we have a lot of confidence in those guys. I think we have some really, really strong athletic kids that can go out there and make plays even as freshmen. That's not just offense and defense, but in special teams as you're asking. And so, they've been taking all the reps as part of our circuits and drill work that we're trying to do to lay the foundation, and now we get into scheme, and so we start laying out our depth chart and our starting point. And there certainly are a lot of young guys, whether they're freshmen or redshirt freshmen or true sophomores. There's a lot of guys that would be out there, but they should be able to go out there and do the job. And we believe, though, that you still will put your best players on the field, but there's got to be a mix and there's got to be a balance, and a lot of those guys can go out there and make plays just like they did a year ago.
Is the logic there to keep wear and tear off of veterans at all?
No, we need to go out, and the special teams, the ball gets kicked and field position on special teams. It's critical. When you look at turnovers, explosive plays, special teams. Fourth down stops would be in there. Those are chunk yardage plays, and the ball getting kicked 40-plus yards every time, whether it's kicks, punts, that field position and how it can really dictate, and the hidden yardage that comes into play there. that's important. So we're not going to take it lightly. Like Coach Nunez does an awesome job working with what he's got and fitting speed on the field where he needs speed and body types. And sometimes he has a position where he has a great pick of the litter, and there's a couple of positions still where, certain guys, we need certain guys, and they might be upperclassmen. In places we don't have upperclassmen, the younger guys got a chance to step up.
Has anybody separated themselves from Hunter yet?
Yeah, I think Blake has since the first scrimmage. Blake's had a really good, what is that, a week and a half, and he's really to the point where he was at statistically, and kind of what we thought he would be before he transferred. And so he transfers here, and I think spring kind of feeling it out, gets in our weight program, and we push our specialists in the weight program, and sometimes that forces you to go down before you go up. And he's definitely on an upward trajectory. And so the first scrimmage, I was impressed getting in the stadium. I'm like, okay, he can sustain this, and he certainly has statistically, and you can even see it visually. Just if you're out there watching, you can see the improvement that's happened over the last 2 weeks.
How's Connor responded this week?
Yeah, yesterday was his best day probably in a week and a half. And again, here in the practice field, done a nice job. And so we got to make sure that just translates over to our own stadium, and we'll keep working on that. But he had a really good day yesterday. Got back to where I feel like he was hitting his, and it was going where he wanted, and had good distance. We challenged him with a distance kick that we actually probably thought he wouldn't make the uprights, and he was halfway up the uprights on it. So did a nice job there.
After a full camp in spring and now fall, how confident are you in Kalen DeBoer at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, he fits into the mix with some other guys. I mean, I think that room, there's some guys at the top, and then there's another pack of guys that are going to be important to us throughout the entire year. And they might be in certain packages, and Bach would be certainly one of those guys that, is just going to keep fighting, keep scrapping. He's doing the things he needs to do every day to just keep focusing on him and being better. And that's what I appreciate about him. And, he's finding his ways into the return game. He did a nice job with that last year, and carving out a role there. And he and the other guys keep carving out their roles, and the more opportunities they get, I think they'll take advantage of. But, you kind of got your guys kind of at the top that are your main starters. And then you kind of got the next group all, bite, scratching, and clawing to get some playing time there.
With Robbie gone from that personal protector spot on punts, who might we see there?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a rotational piece right now. Robbie Utz's a big body guy, obviously, and did it for a lot of years. It's a position that, you think about Burnip, and you think about all these other specialists that are now gone, but that guy was rock solid, not just last year, but years before. And so there's a rotation. We got the body types, we got the people, and we got the guys that really want to do it. And I feel confident. So, I don't want to get into the details on who that might be at this point yet.
How do you talk to Ty about when and how to use his athleticism as a quarterback?
He's got to find out just ways to move the chains. And, and on our offense, first and foremost, the priority is always on keeping our quarterback, we say upright, keep him up, keep him healthy. I mean, we're personnel oriented, but we're really quarterback driven. And, so for him to keep the ball moving gives him more opportunities to go make the next play. A lot of our play calls have something where there's a shot down the field, and for him to get a new set of downs gives him more opportunities when the right coverage presents itself. That shot could exist, but for him, it's about moving the chains. And so if that means using his feet, that's certainly what he needs to do, and that's what he's done. I think he's done a really good job at that balance. So go get a first down. We're never gonna fault you for that. There's gonna be an ooh and ah when you see a guy downfield that you wish you'd have thrown it to. That happens with every quarterback. But be aggressive. But obviously he's got to take care of himself too.
Ty was named the captain today. What have you thought about the way he's been vocal?
Mm-hmm.
Even just specifically.
Yeah, he has, and he was vocal even before he was named the starter. And so, I appreciate that about him. And I think, again, that room did a great job of not making that one guy or the other feel like they couldn't step up and say things. And, Ty continued to do that. He's invested a lot of time into this program. It means a lot to him. And now when he's been the quarterback, named the quarterback, he's taken it another level and just put himself out there front and center. And it's not something that's just like, okay, I got to do this. He wants to do it. He feels natural in that position. I'm certainly proud of him. And, I think, the team voting him a captain certainly represents how they feel about him as well. Tim Keenan. Yeah, Tim Keenan, first of all, just, again, a guy who's been here so long and just heart and soul type of guy in the program. Just big brother to the younger guys. I know they feel like they can go to him and he's gonna shoot them straight. And then just the work ethic and the journey he's been on. I didn't really probably understand his journey until we got into the year last year and kind of understanding where he started out and how far he's come along and what he's doing for us. Now, it's really cool to see. And so it's important to him. You could just hear I had each guy address the team just for a couple seconds, and he don't take it for granted, and he appreciates that. And then Parker, man, I'll tell you what, I really pretty much could have guessed that he would have been a captain, just the way he's been as a leader, and it starts with his leading by example. But it's really cool seeing a guy seeing Parker in particular step up vocally. And see his growth, because I've had a chance to see it now going on these 4 years. And so it means a lot to me just knowing our journey together, that he's continued to just keep fighting, keep believing. And, man, the guys just really respect when he says something. It comes from here, and, he lives it every single day. And so it's easy for him to speak up because it's not something that's hypocritical, and they all listen. So I'm proud of him for sure.
Is there a specific guy or a specific position group that's making the most strides, and the season is, basically here that you're excited about?
A position group that's made the most strides. I would say I like what our linebacking core. I mean, they should be, because we got some veterans that are back, but I think the addition of Nakai and you not knowing, and then Deontay and how he's come back from everything, and I think JJ's taken those next steps. I can't say that, but I'm proud of that group, and I'm excited about what that group can do for us on the football field. Whether they're the ones that's made the greatest strides, I don't know. But they're, the D line, I think has done some good things. I want to see them, prove it on the football field. But just really like the way that linebacker group, kind of runs the show. And I know a lot's been talked about with the defensive backs, and I think consistently there's been just a good way about our offensive line, how they've gone about it each and every day. There's really no highs and lows. They're just about the work. I like their mindset, so again, a lot of position groups that have done what you're supposed to do in camp, and that's continue to progress, continue to get better and come together. So thank you. Yep.